At the center of this culture is Izumo Taisha Grand Shrine. However, exactly when and how it was built remains unknown. This is the main hall of Izumo Taisha, rebuilt about 260 years ago during the Edo period. At 24 meters tall, it is the largest shrine building in Japan. If the height of the ancient main hall was as the legends say, it would have been twice that. Last April, during the construction of an underground chamber within the shrine grounds, a massive pillar suddenly emerged. The arrangement of 3 cedar logs side by side was completely unprecedented. It is believed they were bundled together to form a single pillar. Even a single log measured about 1.3 meters in diameter. Combined, the 3 logs measured nearly 3 meters across. It is the largest pillar ever discovered in Japan's archaeological history. The underground construction was halted, and the excavation continued for another 6 months. Around the pillar, artifacts suggesting an ancient era were unearthed one after another. A carpenter's tool called a chona, traditional hand adze, used for shaving timber, was found in perfect condition. Parts of iron rings and nails, believed to have been used to bind the 3 logs together, were also discovered. Until now, with no physical evidence, the giant ancient shrine had been dismissed as mere legend. Hopes rose that its existence might finally be proven. To determine the age of the pillar, the amount of special carbon contained in the wood was measured. The result, the year 1228, plus or minus 13 years. It belonged to the mid-Kamakura period. The Izumo Kokuso family, which has served as hereditary priests of Izumo Taisha, possesses a floor plan said to depict the giant ancient shrine. Kanawa structural diagram. The existing copy dates from the Edo period, but the arrangement of the pillars drawn on it has long been considered that of the ancient main hall. However, because the thickness and shape of the pillars were so vastly different from later styles, the drawing had been thought fictitious. Yet, in this excavation, pillars appeared exactly as shown in the diagram. Not only were 3 logs bundled together, but their diameter also matched. Two more sets of triple pillars were also found. Their placement, the distance between pillars, all matched the diagram. The possibility that the Kanawa structural diagram truly depicted the ancient main hall grew stronger. From the diagram, it is inferred that 9 pillars stood in a grid-like arrangement resembling a kanji character. An experiment was conducted to see if 3 logs could indeed be bound together, using restored Kanawa rings and nails. However, the prepared Kanawa rings did not fit the logs precisely. The logs were 1/4 scale, yet even slight bends or knots created significant errors. Mr. Shirataka built a forge on site and reforged the Kanawa rings. He felt that similar adjustments must have often occurred when building the giant shrine. This suggested there were many highly skilled smiths involved. The work of hammering nails began. By wrapping 7 Kanawa rings, each only 4.5 centimeters wide, around an 8-meter log, the 3 logs formed one solid pillar. Mr. Shirataka realized that ancient Japanese iron tools held techniques unmatched by Western tools. The nails were wedge-shaped, narrow at the tip, and thick at the base. Repeated experiments with models showed that these wedge-shaped nails were designed to tighten the Kanawa rings. This is the mechanism Mr. Shirataka devised. The seams of the Kanawa ring were offset in advance, and as the wedge-shaped nail was hammered in, it drew the Kanawa ring tighter. Because the wedge grew wider toward its base, the ring was clamped firmly. Evidence was also found of an ingenious method for raising the pillars. The pillar holes were sloped at an angle of 20 degrees on one side. Stakes were driven into the edge of the holes. Back at the workshop, the team devised an experimental procedure based on this new information. They recreated the sloped hole and hammered in stakes, just as at the excavation site. They measured the force, required to raise the pillar with ropes, and the tension on the Kanawa rings. Sensors were attached to take measurements. Sliding down the slope into the hole, the pillar rose upright using the stakes as a pivot. Before the experiment, they estimated it would take at least 1 ton of force, equal to the weight of the pillar, to raise it. In reality, the maximum force recorded was 500 kilograms. For the actual size, that equals 32 tons. Ropes made of shallow hemp were estimated to withstand about 40 tons, so they would have sufficed. The force on the Kanawa rings was far below expectations. Only about 1/20th the limit at which they would slip or come off. Simple ideas like the sloped hole, and driven stakes had a remarkable effect.
カナワとそれからこの、こういう丸太とかこれもやっぱり一番最適の形で作られてたんだないうのが改めて実感できました。やっぱりやってみて初めてその意味が理解できたと思います。
Could the completed giant shrine withstand earthquakes and strong winds? Using data from the experiment, a structural analysis of the building was conducted. The results surprised even engineers experienced in modern skyscrapers. This is a simulation of the Tottori Western earthquake, which registered magnitude 7.3. The analysis revealed that the building swayed like a willow, dissipating seismic forces, a structure remarkably similar to modern skyscrapers.
揺れることによってまず見た時は不安定というふうに感じますもんね、我々。それがこういう構造計算、構造解析をしてみて現代のですね高層ビルに近い周期を持つと、ゆっくり揺れるというようなことはやっぱり興味深いことだったと思います。
Did the giant main hall of Izumo Taisha truly exist? This is a quest to solve an ancient mystery through the lens of technology. This is a reconstruction of the 48-meter-high giant shrine, built on the site where the pillars were found. This image, drawn over 6 months by Mr. Miyamoto and his team, represents the ancient main hall. a massive structure said to have surpassed the height of the world's largest existing wooden building, the Great Buddha Hall of Todaiji. Hidden within it were advanced technologies that astonished modern experts.